Welcome back to Wyman and Bob. Let's get right to it, man. On the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline right now, we have Logan Gilbert. Logan, how you doing, man?
Hey, I'm great. Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
This is a good day for you to come on, my friend. That was an amazing performance last night. But before we get to how well you've been pitching and everything, when Julio pulled that little stunt, they didn't really show your face. And I was curious, I thought maybe there's a chance where you're like, Julio, don't do that to me, man. Or was it kind of like, it was a relief? Tell us what your range of emotions was when Julio hit that, the home run that he snagged in his glove from you.
Man, it was all over the place in a span of 5 seconds. Obviously relief once I saw he caught it. But I'm not going to lie, I thought he caught it right away, and then he faked me out too, because after 2 or 3 seconds, I'm like, all right, he would have shown it by now. And then once he finally did, I was laughing out there, having a good time and smiling. I told him after the game, never do that again, because he about gave me a heart attack.
Logan, you've had a great run the last 6-7 starts. You gave up a few runs back on the 22nd of July. But looking back today, when you sit back and look at your performance the next day, what makes you feel good, whether it's, what you're more proud of? Is it the 12 Ks or the no walks when you look at a performance like last night?
For me, the walks are a big thing, trying to limit that, because that just kind of tells you that every batter, you're being competitive in the zone. The strikeouts just kind of happen or they don't happen, honestly. Some games you have a lot, some games you don't. But if I'm just being competitive in the zone and challenging hitters and trying to get into good counts, usually good things will happen.
Hey, Logan, it's a pretty good lineup. I know San Diego, their record, it's a disappointment, but you look at everyone from Kim to Tatis. That also, does that come kind of factor into it? I know you probably, are pitching just a little bit different for each hitter, but that was a pretty good lineup that they had there going into that game.
Yeah, definitely. They're a great team, and a lot of big names, that everybody's very familiar with. So it means a lot. I got a lot of respect for them and what they do and their abilities. So it's definitely a proven lineup, a lot of veteran guys, and it's pretty special to be able to have a game like that.
When you're sitting, Logan, you're sitting right around 500 at the time of the trade deadline, and I don't know, obviously, conversations if someone's come to you and say, hey, don't worry, we're not trading you, but the trade deadline for any team is, it's a tough one. How was it for you and the rest of the pitchers, maybe possibly on the move, and just the uncertainty?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It was my first time, I guess, being a little more prone to what's going on and whether I factor into that or not. But I always just try to keep it really simple, just focus on what I need to do. And, it sounds so cliche, but that's really the name of the game. You start every 5 days and do it all over again and do that for 30-something times. And everything outside of that doesn't really matter too much. So it's kind of weird hearing your name pop up or even different guys. The next day it completely changes, and now somebody else is apparently being traded, whether it's on Twitter or whatever it is. But I try to stay away from it and just focus on playing good baseball. And I think that's what's helping our team be successful right now, is everybody just trying to do their part.
Logan, you work so hard, and we saw you down at spring training, saw you walking around out on the grass the other day. You're just always trying to get better, which is it's so awesome to watch that. But have you added anything that's different into your repertoire this year, as far as any exercises or anything that you're doing before games?
Nothing too weird. I kind of got all that covered already. So
okay.
It's funny. I think as you go on, you learn to eliminate some things, or just be very sure that what you're doing is beneficial and needs to be in your routine. So I've kind of gotten to that point, I feel like, and just trying to limit my workload or whatever it is throughout the week. I think the main thing for me, going back to I guess when I started feeling good in the middle of the year, is just my practice and my bullpens and stuff, really trying to pound the low and away fastball command and all that stuff, and then my breaking pitches off of that. And I feel like my practice throughout the week has been very very specific and very good intent and purpose behind it, and I think that's helping me out in the games.
Let's look at last night. Last night, you're there at one point. You're fanning 6 straight Padres, and as Dave mentioned, I mean, quite a lineup when they're on, definitely. But when do you feel? Do you feel it coming out of the bullpen when you're just getting to the first inning, or when do you feel that that breaking pitch is snapping off, that fastball is going 97? I'm feeling good. Is it something immediate for a game like last night, or does it come into the second or third inning?
Every game is probably a little different, but I can usually tell, I guess, in the first or maybe sometimes in the second, once you kind of have shown everything at least once. But you get a pretty good feel in the first inning. Honestly, in the pen, I didn't even feel that good. I just kind of treat it like a warm up and do what I need to do to get myself ready and try to hit some spots and all that kind of stuff. But it's not like I felt amazing, honestly. Once I got out there, you just lock it in, try to be competitive, and just use what you got going, and I felt pretty good once the game started.
Logan, is there a certain designation for a 2-game sweep? I mean, we've talked about the 4-game is a mop, supposedly. A sweep is 3 games. What's a 2-game?
Oh, man. I don't even know. You're asking the wrong guy, but it feels pretty good regardless. Four games is amazing, but we take whatever we can get. A 2-game sweep, especially against a team, in playoff contention, that's definitely a big deal. And the way we're playing right now, hopefully we can keep it going. Yeah,
do you kind of feel that? I mean, at least as a fan watching that, like Taylor Saucedo getting so fired up after closing out that game the other day. I mean, is it getting? How would you compare it to like last year, where you guys really caught fire for a while, and it just seemed like everything's working for you, and there was just such a good vibe coming out of the clubhouse? Is it kind of up to that level? Can you compare it to last year at all?
Yeah, it's similar. I mean, like you said, with the vibe or the energy, you just kind of feel it. There's a certain buzz, and it feels like everybody's clicking. And I mean, the fun things, like you said, Taylor, the other day, every day it can be somebody different. Somebody steps up in a huge moment, and your name's called, your number, whatever it is, you step up, make the big play, get a big hit. I don't know, whatever it is. Seems like everybody's doing their part, doing their job, and I think that's why we're playing well.
11-2 in the last 13. Now, you obviously have the day off. Do you get excited to watch your club? Do you get excited? You get a front row seat now to see who is going to be that guy that steps up against, again, a team that's fun to watch in the Padres?
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, every day it's something. So at this point, you're just kind of peeking around, waiting for somebody to step up, like's been happening recently, and especially today with Emerson going out there. We've gotten really close after the last couple of years, and another young guy, I kind of know what it was like a couple of years ago, so I'm going to be right there with him, cheering him on, and it's going to be a fun one to watch for sure.
And with the day off this week, are you still going to face Baltimore? Or is that up in the air?
I think I miss them by one day.
I got you.
I'm actually not sure.
Yeah, right on. And not to get into secrets, but I was just wondering, when you start scouting a team, you would then look at Kansas City, obviously a huge series this weekend versus Baltimore. I was just curious on how your schedule looks and how you start preparing for the next opponent.
Yeah, whenever they send that stuff out, they give me the report a few days before, and just like I did last time, I try to go through it a couple times, kind of get a feel for aggressive guys or who's going to chase, who's not going to, that kind of stuff, and then take it into the report. And honestly, Murph and Cal do such a good job. They lay it out for me, tell me what they see, and I trust them way more than anything I know. So they've seen those guys plenty of times, and I just go off them. I probably shook maybe one time last night, so I just kind of roll with whatever Murph puts down.
And you brought up the exciting story of Emerson Hancock. Why don't you give us a little bit of preview, maybe a scouting report, what you've seen in the last couple of years?
Yeah, he's he's a special guy, special arm. He's got electric stuff, and it's kind of a weird lower slot, but he's got a really good fastball sinker and a changeup. I think his best pitch is his changeup that plays off that. He's got a ton of depth, ton of movement, and then a good slider. So, honestly, I don't want to take too far of a stretch, but he reminds me a little bit of Castillo just in his slot and the way his pitches move. So he's kind of got a little bit of east-west going there. So it's going to be really fun to watch.
All right, Logan. Now, a lot of our texters are stoned, but they did text in a 2-game sweep is a brush. A 2-game sweep is a whisk, like a whisk broom, I guess. And then somebody else said a vacuum, like a vacuum cleaner.
Oh, okay. I'm not going to lie. A brush actually crossed my mind, but I wasn't going to say it because I didn't know if it sounded cool or not. So, but if everybody else is saying it, I'll roll with it.
Yeah, you can probably say anything you want at this point, and it'll be cool to us and the listeners. So you're good. You're good.
Yeah. I appreciate it.
You're much cooler than our texters, that's for sure. So, all right, buddy. Look, hey, thanks for calling in. You've always been great coming on the show, and it's so much fun watching you have a game like you had last night. Good luck the rest of the year, and thanks again, Logan.
Yeah, I appreciate it. That means a lot. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
All right, buddy. That's our favorite right there.
I
Logan
could tell.
Gilbert. Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
I could tell.
Always comes out, and he'll like, okay, yeah, sure, I'll do it, and we love having him on. So, and it's really cool to see him having such an amazing year this year.
Well,
Just
everyone says he's got two different personalities, and the one off the air is that laid back. The guy you just kind of want to root for, and he just sounds like a cool, laid-back, friendly dude. And then the other one, I can imagine you can, appreciate.
relate to.
Pretty intense and,
Love it.
fired up and pissed that he gave up, just a hit when he's walking off the mound and no damage done, but he just has that look like, how did I do that?
Yeah. You can feel the frustration from him, but it's very rare that you're seeing that this year.